Love only endures when it moves like waves, receding and returning gently or passionately, or moving lovingly like the tide in the moon's own predictable harmony. Love is to join and separate, to walk alone and together. It is finally to be able to be who we really are and always secretly were, where true love and lasting love alone can abide.
If life itself is grace, then holy smokes, what does one call all of this? These cream of the crop humans who have loved us to this day, this beautiful mountain air making me feel like I could almost float, the unexplainable joy I feel, and you, Christopher Carlson, call it abundant grace, more than I deserve, and a fullness that leaves me thinking this must be an actual glimpse of heaven. I've dreamt of this day since I was a little girl, but I always assumed I'd be in my young 20s, marrying a West Michigan man in Michigan in front of 200 plus people. None of those things are true about today, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Isn't that God's heart? This is more than I could have ever dreamed or hoped for. This is everything. You are everything.
First time I ever saw her, she was walking up to come say hi to me, and I said, please God, let that be her. And it was, so that's good. The insane thing about us is that when I saw her the first time, my gut told me that we're gonna end up right here. And the fact that we're here right now is absolutely insane.
Growing up, I got to spend a lot of time with Nikki. Where she went, I went. What she did, I did. If she wanted to play house with a friend, I had two options. I could be the dog or the chef. But really, although I enjoy giving Nikki a hard time, she's been the best older sister. She's one of the most thoughtful and intentional people I know, and it's always been an honor to know that she has my back. And it was March 23, 2019. Nikki and Shelly are at a bar in Scottsdale. In walks a guy named Chris, and fast forward about a month, Nikki decides to take a trip to Texas. And we really weren't too sure because she was going to visit a guy that we didn't know a lot about. Fortunately, Nikki got home safe, and all the time I've gotten to spend with Chris really made it abundantly evident that he's a strong leader, he has a hard work ethic, he's sarcastic, but extremely thoughtful. And Chris really is the perfect guy for Nikki.
When I knew 100% that she was the one, this is a story that I love to share. We had just gotten home from a long trip, and it was disgustingly cold and just raining outside, and the plane landed. So we got onto this van, and it drove us to our car, and we got out, and I pulled out one bag, she pulled out the other, and then I started to load them in, and I said, hey, do you have my other suit bag? And she said, nope. I said, that's all right. Forget that. We're just gonna go home because it's pouring and we're both exhausted. She called whoever owns this little van company and said, stop that van. We're gonna come get it. Park at Terminal C. She goes flying out of the car in the pouring rain, comes back, opens the back door, throws the bag in there and says, okay, let's go home. She's soaked, just absolutely soaked. But these are things that she does that just absolutely show how much she loves. And I know all of you know how well she loves because I've never met anybody that loves like you do.
Ever since Nikki was a little girl, I've told her that if I had 12 daughters, that she would be my #1 favorite. Chris asked me for Nikki's hand in marriage, and I said, well, that's fine, but I said, do you understand that you got to take the Dycraft last name? He said, well, for a small fee, I would do that. I said, now who's going to tell Nikki, me or you? He said, no, I'll take care of that. I said, well, you are a man of your word. You're not going to go back on your word. He said, done deal. Anyways, love you, Chris and Nikki. And may God bless your life together. And this is Nikki's dream, so make her dream come true.
We are gathered together as one in the presence of God with you, Chris and Nikki's most treasured people, to celebrate one of life's greatest moments. To witness these two give recognition to the worth and transformational power of love. Together we will witness promises made and pour blessings upon their words, which will unite Chris and Nikki in a lifelong commitment to learning to love like Christ through God's gift of holy matrimony.
After our brief 2 hours shared in Scottsdale when we met, many things stuck out to me. Aside from your big brown eyes and your southern accent, your unique mind, your awareness, and your intentionality. For the first time in my life, I thought I actually might not be too much for this guy. You have given meaning to the phrase freedom and love. With you, I have nothing to hide and nothing to prove. Since that first night, I've watched God do so many beautiful things in your heart. I've seen it on FaceTime screens, in Goodwill parking lots. I've seen it in the way you speak to yourself and how you love your people. I've seen it in the way you show up for me with so much grace. Without you, there would be miles untraveled, lyrics unsung, questions unasked, ice cream uneaten. Without you, there would be fire in me untamed and fire in me unlit. I vow to never stop complimenting your eyelashes.
You can stop right there. We're good.
I vow to never stop pausing from across the house every time I hear you start to play the piano. I vow to lean in towards hard questions. I vow to see every bump as an opportunity for God to heal the brokenness in us. I vow to forgive as freely as Jesus forgives me. I vow to fiercely love our already named babies. I vow to proclaim good out of bad in darkness. And I vow to one day hold gently your wrinkly hand in mine.
I vow to always keep God the center of our lives. I vow to always put you first. It's such an honor to be able to put you first. Sometimes it's a little bit hard and messy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I vow to always try and be who you think I am, because nobody sees me like you do. Sometimes I think your eyes are broken, but you push me to be stronger, to love harder, and I would love to see me the way that you see me, because sometimes it's not that easy. I vow to always be the one that you call first, best friend, safe place. I vow to stand by your side forever and always, because we are two people that are broken, and together we stand tall. And I vow to always make life fun, smile, laugh, cry, get messy, and have a good time. And Dan, Shelly, you will never have to worry about your daughter being safe, taken care of, provided for, and loved. I vow that to you.
In marriage, we learn that we are not alone. We learn to live vulnerably with another, and allowing that person into the deepest and sometimes darkest places of our soul, where our insecurities, our fears, and doubts are hidden. And if we pause and take a moment to seek to understand, we will always see the gift, the lesson, the learn that God has for us. So by the power vested in me, I pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Dykegraph. Oh wait. Did you give him the check?
Where's my check, Dan?
Did he get the check?
I never gave it to me.
Okay, I'm sorry then.
Hey, I did my part, Dan.
It's a great privilege for me to introduce to you right now Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Carlson.
Two things that interact, they create something new that wasn't present in either of the parts that composed it. And I think you both are special individually. Together they are something new, and I think as a group we would all say that we have sensed a new energy, a refreshing energy, a loving energy from both of you that affects all of us.
So all of this leads us up to today, the reason we've all collectively traveled more than 100,000 miles. But Nikki and Chris, when Moses told the Israelites, the Lord will fight for you, you only have to be silent, he was telling the people to trust in the Lord. He didn't tell his people that their future would be easy. And your marriage might not always be easy either, but with God in the center of your marriage and your trust in him, I know that God will do such cool things with you both.
Chris, I love everything you are. You are broken and you are complete. You are human and you are good. You are a force to be reckoned with, a force I'll reckon with until my last ever day.